So today we're going to be looking at how you can calculate what you actually have to pay of the medical bill. So we're going to be looking at the different topics we'll be looking into are the what is a copay, how does your deductible and coinsurance work, and what is the max out of pocket? What does that mean? So copay is simply the amount you pay each time when you go to the doctor. Now, sometimes you'll have a copay and coinsurance until after you met your deductible. Deductible is the amount you must pay before the insurance starts to cover on usually your big bills. They're not going to usually make you meet your deductible on your basic office visits, but anytime you're going to the hospital or staying our emergency room or having a procedure done, those will typically hit your deductible and then coinsurance. And then out-of-pocket max, if you reach this point, after that point, all the bills are going to be covered. They still may make you pay a copay. So I think of it kind of like those fundraiser meters. You're going to fill it up as you go, and once the bottom, you have to have what's underneath filled before you can go on to the next section. So for our examples that we're going to be working today, we have it's not letting me do it. Okay. We have to meet the bottom portion before we can go above. And so for our examples we're working today, we have to meet a deductible of $1,000. And then after it, for the next $1,700, they're going to pay a portion and we're going to pay a portion. Once we reach $2,700 that we have paid, and most of the time copays do not count into this, some of them will, they will pay full amount. And so in that little window from $1,000 to $2,700, you're paying 15% of any bill. They're wanting you to have some type of ownership of what your bills are and that you will take and encourage you to not be wasteful in what you're spending, but at the same time, they're going to also cover a big portion of it. If you know you're having a medical procedure done that year, if you're having a surgery and you have multiple things, sometimes people try to stage it to where they take care of it all in the same year. So let's look at a couple of things, and we're going to look at this first one. Their medical costs so far have been $596 this year. And we're still using that same rules for this. So our deductible's $1,000, our max out of pocket is $2,700, and our coinsurance is a 15% rate. So as I start filling this bucket, I don't get to the point where I'm past this $1,000 mark. So that means all I am paying is that full amount. So I pay $596 because this was less than $1,000, which was our deductible. Let's go on to the next one. Again, we still have that same scenario happening. We have the deductible of $1,000, the max out of pocket is $27, and coinsurance is $15. So in this one, $5,290 is greater than $1,000. So I know I'm above my deductible. So I know I'm filling up past that deductible line. But I don't know how much if I've passed the coinsurance amount. And so when I'm looking at this, the way I calculate it is I have my deductible plus my coinsurance and that's going to equal what I pay. So my deductible was $1,000. To calculate this coinsurance, I take and have to pay 15% of anything over 1,000. So I'll first subtract out that 1,000. And so I'm going to pay 15% of $4,290. And so 15% times 4,290 gives me $643.50. This amount is less than my max out of pocket. And so I fill it up here in my coinsurance. And that max out of pocket difference, that difference over here, how much you'd have to pay over here, that $1,700 that we talked about earlier. And so I pay $1,643.50. That's how much I had to pay. The last scenario we have, and we still have the same scenario going on here. Our deductible is $1,000, our max out of pocket is $2,700, and our coinsurance is $15,000. So our medical costs were $13,870. So step one is I have to fill up my deductible. And I had more than $1,000, so I went past that deductible amount. Next thing is I'm going to be filling into the coinsurance amount. I don't know if I'm going to go past it, so let's go ahead and figure out what I have. So I need to subtract out that 1,000 so I can figure out what I need to take 15% of. So I have 12,870. Okay, so we had that $1,000 deductible. Now we have to figure out our coinsurance amount. So I take that 12,870 times the 15%. And so 15% of 12,870 is $1,930.65. So remember that coinsurance, we paid 15%. But that difference that gets us to that out of pocket is $1,700. Is this number greater than $1,700? And the answer is yes. So that goes up into my coinsurance amount. And so I only pay $2,700. And these all, unlike car insurance and homeowners insurance and property insurance, you usually have a calendar year for every plan. And so every time you go into the doctor, it doesn't reset what you had previously. You're not having to meet that deductible each time. They're going to look at it over the whole calendar year. And then after that point, like I said, after you've reached that max out of pocket, anything that happens above here, the most you're having to pay is maybe a copay. So after you get to this point, they pay all of this. Unless you have a lot of medical issues, most of the time you don't get to hear every year, but just realize that they will pay, after you get to a certain point, they pay all the rest.